Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Solving Advent of Code in Rust and try to learn Rust in between. I'm Eugene. We have,
Luciano?
And Roberto?
I'm not sure where either of them is. Right. Thank you, everyone, for following along. I'm never sure where the boxes are. If you never did Advent of Codes, it's basically a challenge that's published every year in December, and there's basically a coding challenge every day up until Christmas Day. We're working towards the one from 2020, from last year. You can find all of them on adventofcode.com. We're publishing all our code on GitHub. If Luciano can give us a banner, perfect. Thank you very much. Um, and we also have a YouTube channel where we publish all the recordings. You can find the link in the description of the Twitch channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find the link to the Twitch channel in the description of the video. Yay. Now, last episode we finished, Luciano and Roberto finished exercise number 20, and today we're going to be going on to exercise 21. I think I'm going to let Roberto take over from this point.
Yeah, we can look at the. Give me a second. I have to update the
I
stuff.
forgot to apologize. I should have apologized for missing the last few sessions of this. I said I'll do it, so there you go.
So we are. Nobody cares. No, the meaning is fine. Don't worry.
No, I get it. Nobody missed me. It's fine.
We did miss you. Come on. Let's say it publicly. We did miss you.
Yeah, with every shot so far.
All right, let's go to exercise 21.
I'm going to share your screen, Roberto.
Yeah. Can you see it? Tell me that you can see it.
We can, I think. Okay. We can, at least.
Good. So you reach the train, that's the stop, the usual story that we skip every time. We have food. List of food, your puzzle input. One food per line. Each line includes the food ingredients, list followed by some or all of the allergens that the food contains. Each allergen is found exactly in one ingredient, so one-to-one mapping. Each ingredient contains 0 or 1 allergen. Allergens aren't always marked. This is not important. Where they are listed, they are in a contains something between brackets after the ingredient list. The ingredient that contain each list allergen will be somewhere in the corresponding ingredient list. However, even if allergen isn't listed, the ingredient that contain the allergen could still be present. Yes, fine. For example, let's jump to the example. We have these ingredients in an unknown language, but we know that they contain dairy and fish. Then we have another food that contains those 4 unknown ingredients and contains dairy. From this, we can infer that the only ingredient in common between line 1 and line 2 is this one, MXMX VKD. So MXMX VKD will contain dairy. We are sure about this. We go on with this reasoning for the other lines. For example, fish is present in this one and this one. We know that in common between the first line and the last line, we have MXMX, but we already know that it's dairy, so fine. And there is SQJAC that is in this line, but allergens can be missing, like the text say, and is in this line. So we know that this SQHJ will contain fish, because it's the only one in common between first line and last line. For soy, we have 2 ingredients, but then we know that these contain fish, so this one will contain soy. So doing intersection of sets, we arrive to have an allergen and a set of possible ingredients that contain that allergen. And this explains this one. The first step, part 1, is to determine which ingredients can't contain any of the allergen in any food in your list. In the above example, KFCS, NMCMS, SB, ZZF, and TRH can contain allergen. Counting the number of time any of those ingredients appear in any ingredient list, it produces 5. They all appear once except SP, ZF, ZZF, which appear twice. So if an ingredient is there more than one time, we have to count it every time, not just once.
So just to clarify, the goal is to find which one of the random strings of characters map to an allergen, and then count the occurrences of all allergens in our input. Correct?
Yeah, here it's not super clear to me if we must count the number of food with allergens or without allergens, because it say which
I'm looking
ingredient
at the bottom.
can't.
I'm looking at line 29 there, which says
Okay,
determine which
which
ingredients.
cannot. Okay, it cannot. Cool. So the one that cannot contain any allergen.
So
Okay,
I
so
suppose the game is like trying to find the food that is safe to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Our input obviously is huge,
yeah.
so contains and something, but a lot of ingredients in our input in an unknown language. So to go back to what we say that will be our algorithm, probably we can start with an hash map that points directly to a set of strings, of these strings splitted on space.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we go to the next line, we go to the map. If is empty, we just insert the set. If there is something, for example, when we go to second line, the K diary will be in the hash map, and we have to do the intersection between this set and what is in the map, and so on. So basically, like this until the end of the list of ingredients. In the meantime, we also have to save in a vector all the ingredients that we see, because we have to filter them out to get the number of the ingredients that are safe at the end. So just to pass the input only once and not twice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is going to work? Is it clear?
I think so. I think it looks way simpler than the previous exercise. So I'm confident we can do it. Come on.
Yeah. Just give me a second.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna say hello, Tommaso.
Hey.
Okay, let me jump back to VS Code. So, what is part 1 here? The fonts are so big that I can't see the code. First one, we have to parse the input line by line, right? So, and we have to create this. We talked about two data structure, a map and a list. So,
yes,
let mutable.
I think if we keep doing Advent of Code, I think we should write a Rust library for parsing individual lines, because we seem to be doing this every time we start an exercise.
Yeah, actually, I saw that there are a bunch of interesting libraries to actually do proper parsing, like with tokens and errors and all. It might be interesting at some point to try to use one of them. And at that point, we also get error handling and all these nice things.
Roberto, what's a hash map?
A task map is when you ask for something.
It's an Haskell version of an hash map.
Yeah,
just checking.
Here we have the pointer to str is something, and the hash set of again reference to str, or we use str, we want to use string, or we will land in the.
I think because we are never gonna mutate this data, and we take this reference from like a global str which is embedded in the binary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect a lot of issues with references, but let's try and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Here there is default, something default, hashmap default. No, it was to create something here. New hashmap.
Oh, we have a
Hashmap
challenge
colon,
here,
colon,
by the
new, I
way.
think.
We
What
have
do we
a
have?
challenge from Tommaso
From iterator.
this time. I'm going to use our default answer that we're going to do it dummy first, and then we'll see how to refactor it. But I like the suggestion. I like
Also
the
because I don't even remember how to initialize an hashmap, so guys. So,
It's
you need to
hashmap
import
colon,
it,
new.
and then, yeah.
okay, imported is auto-imported.
And then column new then.
Column new.
Don't do Java, please. And you don't need the Angular brackets, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So we have our...
Or we can use this one, which is also pretty cool. Default.
Yeah.
Default here on the side.
Yeah, that's
Just
default.
default, replace everything. Yeah.
It also works for vectors, or?
It works for every struct, every type, if you want, that implements the default trait. And you could even derive it for your own custom things if you only use things that have defaults inside.
Okay. But probably default for a vector of pointer to str is empty vector. I hope so.
Yes, I think so.
So now for line in input. Okay, also let's rename input. Sorry, the ID is doing what he wants with brackets. Lines. Okay, we have our stuff. Now we have to do ingredients and allergens. And we have to use a tuple. And then there was the trick to use split once. Yeah. And our split once. Pasteurizer, you are contains. Okay.
And
but
you need to unwrap because, of course, I think you need to unwrap because it might not find.
To exclude the last element.
I think you need to do length -1. Yeah.
Okay, because the closest bracket at the end, we don't want it. Unwrap. Okay, now we have to split again. Our ingredients are our ingredient dot split multiple times. Now we will see what we have out of this. And the ingredients are split on space.
It returns a split object, which I think
how
is iterable.
We did this multiple times. How we go back to
I think you can collect it. As in, you define a type for ingredients, and then you can collect into that. So it could be like a vector of strings or something, I guess.
Yeah, let's go with a vector of reference to str, and iter collector directly collect, and we have to turbo fish it, or is it smart?
I think no, it's not.
No, okay, we are not returning anything here. How it was to do? No.
Unimplemented. An exclamation mark. I think there is also some to do one, but I'm not sure.
Our allergens are instead the same, but on the allergens string, and we have to split on this. Sorry, I gone putting the page down by error. Now we have to put all the ingredients in this vector. There is an update extend. Perfect. And extend with another iterator. Perfect. I have to do iter like this.
Then we don't even need to collect. We can just give it the split, because that is an iterator.
Yeah, but we have to use it again now, so we have to use it in multiple places.
Yeah, fair enough.
How do we check if there is a key inside for allergen in allergens dot? We have to iter? No, I don't have to iter. How do we check if a key is in a map again?
If
There was
a
a
key
fancy
contains, I
way.
think.
Hmm?
I think
No,
there is
but
contains.
yeah, there was a fancy way of doing. Take this element out of the map, but if it's not there, set it to.
Oh yes, there is entries or entry, something like that. Let me. I can never remember that, so I need to check the actual syntax.
Yeah, entry gives you the entry.
Or insert, okay. Entry or insert. Okay. So entry allergen or insert
Allergen, yes.
hash set new. Can we pass something to the constructor of the hash set new, for example, in the iterator to use to create the hash set, or not?
There is probably from something.
Yeah, you're right. So basically, how can we make this an hash set? No, strings. So this one, an hash. Now is a vector of strings.
Well, what's the key and what's the value, basically?
I
The
think
key
you
is
might
the
be
allergen,
able.
and the
I think you
value.
might be able to collect into a hash set.
Iter collect because it's a vector, so we have first to. Sorry, the cat is trying to conquer me. No, sorry, I have to dispose of the cat.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Is inferring all the types on its own? No.
No.
Value hash set of str cannot be built from an iterator over types reference to reference. Okay. Into iter. Now we are
we are consuming.
moving. Yeah, we are consuming.
You can do a clone, but then we str. I don't know what's gonna happen.
You mean cloning here?
Yes.
And
maybe just gonna clone the references. Not sure.
Values. It's a mutable hash set. Okay, perfect. Once we did this, we have to do values dot intersection with. Okay, probably we can assign this to something. Ingredient set is equal to this. But now we have to tell it the type, that is a hash set of pointer to str. Insert our ingredient set. Sorry for the bad naming. If you have better names, tell me.
No. There is a typo. This one is ingress set, and the first one is ingress.
Yep. I'm terrible with names. I don't know if you see that. This guy is returning. Right? This guy is returning or modifying in place?
Good question. I have no idea.
Public function is giving back an intersection. Oh my god. Can you just give him back a set?
But
maybe it's an iterator that you need to collect into another set.
Okay. This is start to get
Yeah.
hard.
Well, to be fair, the intersection
It
doesn't
is.
account for doubles.
Sorry?
I was
Go
going to
ahead,
say an
Ed.
intersection doesn't necessarily care about whether an element occurs multiple times. It just does or doesn't occur in the other, right?
Yes, but I think the logic here is that rather than calculating the intersection straight away, it just gives you an iterator that as you consume, you get only the elements that are actually an intersection. So you need to, if you really want to materialize the intersection, you need to collect.
Okay, so what we did here is a little bit overkill, but okay, let new values equal to the values dot collect again, and we are always collecting a hash.
I think Tommaso has a very good suggestion. He's suggesting that if we already have our ingredients and allergens as sets, then that could make our life simpler.
Here we have to add to a vector, I don't know, probably yes. We can try. Okay, let's try. We can have them as set from here. So it would be already be
so this is for, oh no, this is for every line. Okay, cool, that's fine.
yeah,
I was thinking
we are
that the
inside
top
the single
level-
line. We are inside the
Yeah,
single
yeah.
line.
I was thinking for if this was in the overall logic, sets might not be good because we might get the same ingredients multiple times, but it's fine. We're good. We're golden. I will shut up now.
Okay, the new is the intersection between our collect. Seems happy about this, or we are consuming stuff. Oh, I have to pass a reference.
Okay.
Just that. And now collect is not happy because cannot be bid from iterator over double pointed.
The usual.
Yeah, and how we fix this?
Because values is no.
Values we create it, we take it out of the map here, or we use our default.
Yeah, but I think because
Now
the INGS thing is a hash set of references, when you give it a reference, it becomes a double reference.
here what was complaining about that I have to pass the reference and then again of the same. We just want to intersect the two set. Please.
Intersection returns a reference to the item inside the hashsets, maybe.
So we have to materialize them somewhere.
I think we need to. It might be iterable already, but I think we need to map over it to return them.
And we have to return star X.
Star, yeah.
Okay, now it's complaining
that we are probably moving the values. Yeah. You can try dot cloned. I think it's actually Tommaso is also suggesting that.
Yeah.
Cloned on what?
X
on
the X clones.
On intersection.
Dot clones dot map basically, right?
You mean here?
No, on the line below. Where
no, cloned as in cloned after intersection.
Cloning here is enough, is happy.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's the same stuff anyway.
Now we have to put back in the new values on top of the old key in the hash map.
Just one quick thing, just for curiosity. If you remove that map in line 16.
I remove this map.
And replace that with dot cloned. Yeah. do you get back already objects that are not references?
Yeah, just say that it's not. It's doing the same as that map, basically.
Okay, and if you remove dot clone above now as well?
If I remove this dot clone, now he's complaining again about.
Okay, that's
probably-
interesting. I was expecting that clone will do
It's cloning.
copy every item and give you ownership on them.
I think when we insert them, we give ownership away, basically. That or insert is probably passing them completely, as opposed to a reference, right? Or am
When
I
we
not making
insert
sense?
in values or
So
in
line
new
15,
values?
line 15, where you have or insert,
Mhm.
ingredients dot clone. If you remove that dot clone, it seems to stop being happy. So I presume that or insert is actually passing it.
Mm.
No? As in it's giving ownership. No, it seems to still be happy. Then I
Yeah,
didn't
because
get it.
because you have another error at the end. I think that
Yeah.
error is taking precedence.
Can you comment that line? 15 now, just to see if it's...
It was by Mr. Semicolon is complaining of the moved value.
Yeah.
So where
Okay.
where is telling you that the value is moved? There, right? That
Yeah,
red line.
that's...
Okay.
So or insert is actually moving it.
Yeah. But it's fine because in theory, for every allergen is a different set. It's not the same set because they will evolve differently. But here we are creating a new one and replacing it. So after all of this, can we debug this hashmap dbg our allergens ingredients to see what we have out of it, just to have an idea?
Yeah, and a semicolon, I think. No?
By the way, before you show that,
Yeah.
Thomas is saying that asterisk X means copy because &str, so a string reference implements copy. So when you dereference, automatically creates a copy of that reference, basically.
Okay. STR are a little bit magical.
I think it's that we with copy, it's always a little bit that you don't see that there is a copy. You need to know that that trait implements copy. Instead, with clone, it's more obvious because you explicitly have to call clone to generate a copy.
Okay, let's see what we have in the hashmap after this round. Okay, we have
This fails because we have unimplemented.
Okay, we have wheat that can be those 4 ingredients. Shellfish, sorry, can be those 2 ingredients. Sesame, those 2, dairy, 2, eggs, 2, fish, 2, nuts,
3,
just this one. So we are
we know
lucky.
nuts. Cool.
And peanuts, 4 of them. Cool. Now, what we have to do is taking all these ingredients that are in these values, all the values, and count starting from. Let me close this. We have this vector of ingredients. We have to count how many of these ingredients are not the values of the hashmap.
Oh yeah, because that was part 1, correct? Yeah.
That is part 1. How many of those ingredients we have there are not in the values of the hashmap? So probably the first stuff that we can do is creating a hash, joining all the hash sets that we have here, all these hash sets.
Yeah.
Joining all of them together, we will have one hash set with all of them.
Yep. All allergen values, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then what do? You iterate over all the words.
We do ingredients dot filter dot count.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, because we want to count duplicates. Yeah. That are not in the allergen list.
Yeah, so we have to create bread ingredients list that will be an hash map, but a hash set. But yeah, but fine. Let's call it underline list. That is this. Now, a fast way to take the map, take all the value and merge all of them together.
You can chain iterators, I guess.
Here I only want the values, and values is there. So now this will be an iterator of hashset, and I want to merge them together.
Might be able to collect directly.
Hmm,
But it's going
because
to iterate. Go ahead.
I know that if you have 2 iterators, you can chain them. Here is more you have n iterators, and you
Okay,
want to chain them all together. So
yeah,
I don't know if
here we have we can do the stupid stuff starting with the empty hash set, iterating over this and putting stuff in. We can do this.
Yeah.
let me see if there is an easy way to chain multiple iterators or merge them.
Look for
I
that.
presume
In the meantime, now we create the stupid version.
And I presume that dot values is returning an iterator of iterables, basically. It's an iterator of each of the hash sets, right? So you need to iterate
yeah.
and then iterate over the stuff inside.
By the way, we have done this already in the past. We just keep forgetting. We can use flat map. Because of course, from that values, you can map to, you can flat map to iterators, and that will become like a one level iterator.
Okay, and yeah,
You just need to return another iterator, basically, which is gonna be the values in the set.
So
right?
X.
If you do X is the hash set, do you need to do that iter? Probably yes.
Yeah. Is a
I
set
think,
not
yeah.
iterable? Or
But you need to return an iterator itself. Okay, and now
collect, I guess.
We have to
if
collect.
you can probably do a top level collect, yeah.
Yep.
Let's see if we did
It's
everything.
not happy.
There's probably reference to reference, yeah. Can you do an into either maybe in the flat map?
Cloned like before?
No, just into iter. Instead of
cloned,
X
yeah.
dot iter. Or that, yeah.
That might fix it, yeah, cloned.
Still not
Now, what's wrong there?
When do we move this?
Move occurs because allergens has type hashmap str, which does not implement the copy trait. So probably when you call values, you are moving it.
Is the bug?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We never remember that the bug is
Consume, yeah, unless you debug a reference, which we can also do, but we always forget because it's less intuitive, right?
Yeah.
So now we have to filter and to count, and this will be our solution. We have to filter. What do we have here? We have a list of strings that are this must be bad ingredients contains X.
Is it contains or not contains?
Okay, let's think of it. We
What
want
was
to keep
the
it
ask?
if it's not containing.
So filter keeps the ones that match the condition, so the ones that are not contained. Okay.
Yeah. This exists.
Sometimes I wish that filter was called keep.
Yeah, true.
Following trait bound were not satisfied. Ingredients.iter.
Probably yes.
And
or
I'm
into iter.
complaining about U64 against U sides. But we changed the retard type.
Yes, fair enough. I just put U64 because
now contains is
whatever.
Triple reference to string.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
We're doing well.
No, okay, it's a vector of string. Fine. We want to count, filter and count, please. Iter, cool. Why here is a triple reference to string?
Rather than a double. I was expecting a double.
Yeah.
If I put a star, I remove one level of Well, this is random, guys.
Okay, let's see if it works at least. Doorbell.
Excuse me for a moment.
At least we get to find out if it works.
Meanwhile, we have Tommaso suggesting into ether, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
It did work, by the way. Nice.
That's good. Into iter, I think, returns a new, like a clone.
Sorry,
A
every now and
dereference
then,
version, yeah.
my daughter come home, so
Fair enough.
it's working.
It's working, yeah. And
Part
Tommaso
one.
was suggesting we use into iter instead of iter there. So we get
Here
rid of
to avoid
yeah.
that star into
Yep.
iter, and we remove the star. Okay, now it's only a double reference.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is fine. It works.
Yeah, it works. And we have our hash map that, to be honest, we probably also need for part 2. So now let's read part 2. Any comments? Do we want to optimize something for part 1?
We've got about 20 minutes, so we can decide to do part 2, or we can decide to optimize this one.
There was that suggestion to use from iterator, but I suppose that was to do the parsing.
Here in this parsing bit.
I would say let's go with part 2, and we can leave that either for a PR or we can do it later if we have time.
Cool. Okay, let's go with part 2. Read me. Where is the part 2? Part 2. Now that you have isolated the inert ingredients, you should have enough information to figure out which ingredient contain which allergen. For example, an example above, this and that, this and that, this and that. Arrange the ingredient alphabetically by their allergen and separate them with commas to produce your canonical dangerous ingredient list. There should not be any space. In the example above, you have MX, SQ, JH, etc. and so on.
Okay.
What is your canonical list? Okay, so if we go back to what we debugged before, that I don't have anymore. No, but we can debug again. We can dbg
always
again.
I don't know if it's going to be happy to compile.
With a reference?
Maybe.
And rerun it again. Okay. Yeah. We already did this when there was the ticket exercise. Basically, we know that NUTS is mapping 1-to-1. Cool. So we can remove this one from all the other set. So we can remove it from here, from here, from here.
Yep.
From here. At that point, when we remove it from here, diary will be for sure VCCKP. At this point, we
remove this one,
from all the other ones. At this point, this one X will be HJZ, and then we remove HJZ from all of the other one. And in the end, we must have a mapping one allergen, one ingredient, and we can produce our output string. Do you mind if I go to copy and paste from that exercise that we did in the past?
No.
But what I can do is copy the parsing. We can put it in a function later, next time. We don't need this vector anymore. So we don't care of populating it anymore. Everything else is the same, except that now this is called the input. If we go back to 16, 16, we had something similar. We had mapping between columns and fields, and we wanted to identify them. And what we did, the sure columns were a hash set of rules. We had rules, but here we just have strings. While we still have stuff to do, take all the column. If the length is greater than 1, we kept the sure column and we went on, and then we inserted in the sure column if it was 1, because if it was 1, there was only one-to-one mapping.
Yep.
And then we did stuff there. Do we want to create sure mapping map and start to put in there?
Sure.
By sure mapping, basically, it's
the certain ones, like the ones that we know are one-to-one.
Yeah. So let's say something like this: let mutable sure mappings. That will be an hash map between str and str. Because this, sorry,
without the space, yeah.
And it will be default. So this way we give me a moment, and we go through while.
Should we do like a queue of things that we need to remove from everywhere else?
We have to remove the sure mappings from all the map and go on until there is sure mapping the same length of the mapping.
Of the keys and...
Okay, maybe I was thinking a different approach, where initially we know there must be one mapping that is already one-to-one.
Yeah.
We take the value of that mapping and we put it in a queue. And then basically we do, while that queue is empty, while it's not empty, basically, we keep removing that current element from everywhere else where that current element is not appearing only once. Then every time we turn something from 2 mappings to 1, it means we found something else that needs to be removed everywhere else, and we add it to the queue.
That's calling itself. I get what you mean. But this one's basically doing the same one, only it's doing it based on the length. Like this is looking at the result. It's like, did we identify all of them or did we not? This one, if the data is incorrect, this one can turn into an infinite loop, while the other one cannot. So there are advantages to what Luciano's saying.
Yeah, but we know that advent of code is very...
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It encourages non-defensive programming, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we call it offensive then?
This is offensive programming, yeah. So we have allergen in ingredients. In the allergen ingredients dot, how can we have a key and value from this guy iterating on top of it?
Sorry, my hearing headphones. Sorry.
I don't know, are you still there? Somebody's still there?
There should be yeah, sorry, I was messing with my headphones because my hair was falling in my face. There should be a keys. No, that's for one key.
So basically in Python there is dot items to get key and value from something.
You might have dot items here as well.
Doesn't entries... Is it not called entries?
Or, it might be called
JavaScript.
Oh no, iter. So it's not even needed to... just in.
Okay, nice.
Cool.
Nice. Cool. Fine. So if our ingredient length is 1, this is a sure mapping, right? Insert, and we have to insert our allergen, and the only one in inks. How do we take the only element in an hash set? There is no first. There's only one element here. I want it.
I think you need to do an iterator and then dot next.
We can call get, right? 0. Oh no, that's for value.
No. You need to do dot iter dot next.
Iter
dot next dot unwrap.
Next dot. We know that is only one element because we checked it. Okay, so how many parentheses?
That's
Yeah, I put one more parenthesis. And sorry, I got lost with parentheses. Open, closed. And why is complaining about? Okay, because it didn't say it. Borrow. No, I don't want to borrow. Everything must be.
I think you don't need the ampersand there. Just allergens.len.
Yeah, but borrow moved. Line 53. Here.
Yeah. Dot into iter. And that should give you a clone of it. There we go. Although it's not happy with a not equal.
Can't compare. Okay,
because shared mappings is reference.
Okay, now borrow it. On 53.
It's not.
But I don't want to borrow it. I just want to go over it.
But if you use... Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That's it.
I think intuiter
now the allergen is a double pointer to string, but this mapping seems happy. Don't know. I don't know.
Let's keep going and see when it fails. 5 minutes from now or something.
Yeah. So we went through all the map, and if there is everything that is length 1, it goes in the sure mapping. That is.
And we should. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was gonna say we should also remove it from the allergens now, right?
Yeah. Now, for all the values in the hash map, for all the values in the sure mapping that are again, but we don't care about the allergen, we just care about the ingredients. Okay, in our sure mapping. Cool. Now we have to go again in this guy. Now we have to use another name. Ingredient set. Parentheses are fine. Can we mutate this guy with a remove if this guy.len is greater than 1? Because if he's 1, we are fine. We don't have to remove anything. There is a remove. Remove works in place, I hope.
Yeah,
works in place. Thank you.
Yes, retards true or false.
And we have to remove the ingredient that I can call without the plural because it's 1. And I will modify the hash set in that. To be honest, I don't need even this one. Here is complaining because I lack a semicolon. And now he complains because cannot borrow as mutable. Okay, how can I borrow it as mutable?
I don't think you can, because
you
we already have a reference. So either you have only one mutable reference, or if you have already other references.
Variable doesn't need to be mutable. Okay.
No.
Who must be mutable here?
Maybe mutable reference.
I just want to remove from the hash set. Let's read the error better. Cannot borrow as mutable as it's behind a reference. Ing set is a reference, so data is referred, cannot be borrowed as mutable.
Can you do in that 4 of line 59?
Yeah.
Can you do in front of ing set? Can you put ampersand mute?
Here.
Yeah.
All together. Yeah.
All together ampersand mute. Yeah.
Let's see what's the error there.
Type is mismatch. Iter mute here. Dot iter mute.
Oh, that could be. Let's see, and remove the other thingy.
Now he's complaining.
Now
Yeah,
probably
you're passing a reference. Remove the ampersand from in front of it. Now it might be.
okay. Now there is another error, 52.
It's been there for a while, but we only see it now. I mean, I spotted it earlier.
Moved due to implicit call to into iter. Where? Here, because we have to go by reference. Okay. Let's debug what we have in the hashmap at this point, because I don't know what we have in the hashmap at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If we are not in an infinite loop, obviously, right?
Yeah, we might be.
No. We have, perfect, a one-to-one mapping. But we have not to look at this one. We have to look at the other one.
Yeah, the sure mappings.
Yeah, the sure mapping. Okay, this is fine. And we will have the same, what was sure column? No, not sure columns. This is the wrong exercise.
That's the other exercise. Yeah.
This is our sure mapping here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try this again. Okay, mapping. Let's see if it's the same. Moves to JHT, moves to JHT. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now the output must be this one or the values, but sorted by the key. So the first one will be this one, diary. Then there will be the E,
eggs, I think.
F, GH, and so on. Cool. How do we do that?
Good question.
I think we can do an iterator over the couple and then sort and then map and then join.
Okay. In the meantime, my cats in the background are fighting, but
they're also scared about Rust. Yeah,
they're scared about Rust. Okay, Dot, you said we have to iter. Then what we have to do? Map.
So if you iter, you can probably
sort.
Yeah, I don't know if there is like a sort by or something like that where we can.
There's no sort. We have to go to a vector through a collect and then sort the vector.
I hoped we could do that in place, but yeah, it makes more sense that we need to collect, right? Because we need to compare and move things around with the sorting.
Yeah, and I don't know if hashsets have an order in Rust. Are they ordered data structures?
You mean tuples?
No, not tuples, because this is a hash set we're iterating over here, right?
This is
it a guaranteed order?
But we have to sort it, so who cares?
Yeah, we will get the key value pairs in whatever order, doesn't matter, because we'll need to rearrange them anyway, right?
The only reason I mentioned that is because I don't think you can call sort if a hash set itself cannot be sorted.
Oh, yeah,
it doesn't store order.
That's correct. I mean. Yeah, I meant that in a vector, like we will collect the couples in a vector and then sort the vector with a custom rule, because we need to say we sort by the second element in the tuple, so the values.
What are the type of sort? There is a sort. Oh, please.
I think you can just call by key.
What is by key?
Okay. I have no idea.
By key, by cached key, by unstable.
No, that's.
I thought sort by
the slice with a key extraction function.
So you tell it what to get for each element, I guess.
Sort by key is x of 0 because it's a tuple, and we say x, and we want to sort by x dot 0, not 90.
Is that okay? Does that work?
And is sorting in place or returning?
I think it's gonna sort in place. So
stable is returning nothing. So now we have
why our ret. Like I was expecting it to complain. The ret needs to be mutable. Why is not complaining? Did you save?
Yes. And no idea. How do we join on top of something? To join on the comma. We have to join on comma.
Join.
There's dot join, and then you pass it to comma.
But you also want to map.
Yeah, we have to take the second element.
Okay.
Yeah. There's an extra quote there.
Yeah, extra quote pop up frequently. I have the international keyboard layout, and it's happening.
Cool. Let's see.
Okay.
No.
Now also Thomas is guessing that we have some other error, and that's why that mute is not complaining. We'll see if that's
No
true.
metered join found on map. I have to iter over this guy or to collect.
I think you have to collect into a factor.
I have to turbo
But
fast
do
collect.
Vec of something.
You need angular braces.
Sorry.
Nope.
Okay.
Now that mute
Now.
thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So iter map because we want only the second element, collect because we want a vector of string out of it, and join on single on comma, single comma. Will it work?
Maybe.
Okay, work.
Nice. Good job.
18 and 58, guys.
Just about time. Remove all the DBGs.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. Oh yeah, and commit and stuff.
Yes. DBG also here. Find DBG. Okay, no more DBG in the code. It's not beautiful. The parsing is copy and pasted. We could have done a function for it, but fine. This is, like Eugen said, not safe. Luciano's idea was safer, but advent of code is kind
safe.
with us. Yeah, it's safe. And we remembered something, at least this time. Ethermute, for example, we remembered that it exists. We remembered that sort on a vector. Yeah, probably there was a way to do this in only one liner, but at the moment it...
To be honest, I'm impressed by the fact that we dealt much better with references this time.
Yeah.
Going back 2-3 months, we're still not great, but progress has been made.
Still here we cloned. To be honest, this is right in my opinion, because the hash set go in different allergen, and they must be treated as different sets because they must intersected with different sets in the future. So it's fine.
Also, keep in mind that we are cloning references, so it's not also. We are still at the end of the referencing pieces of the original input string.
Yeah.
So in the end, it's not that bad.
No, it should be okay. I'd suggest we maybe we get some PRs or something, and we talk about this next time. We either do live, make it nicer, or if we get some PRs, we can talk about that. I'm just thinking we're nearly at time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's commit it, basically. Go ahead.
While Roberto commits, I think one thing that we could improve is that copy-pasted input parsing.
Yeah.
One thing that we have been doing, especially in the last few ones, which I think is nice to do in Rust, is to implement the from string. And that basically with a custom type that is a wrapper of that hash map. And that basically allows us to easily initialize the hash set from whatever input, and also handle potential errors that now we are not handling. But in theory, if you were doing proper parsing, you could do that way.
No, that's fair enough. There's a lot of stuff overall, the exercises that we've done, which could be made a bit more defensive, because it works for advent of code, but for real world systems, it would fail the first day you flip it on in production.
Yes, we unwrap a lot. We unwrap less now, to be honest.
Yeah, we're still learning. I mean,
Sorry.
Go ahead. I was just saying we're still learning, so
Yes,
it's
also
progress. We're unwrapping less and we're getting quicker to the clones and unwraps than we were before. So, at least we're hacking it quicker.
yeah, at least.
All right. Do we leave it here then?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so as
All
well.
right. All right. Then we're wrapping it up. You can find the recording later on YouTube if you missed the beginning or the middle. Probably not the end since you're here watching this. There's a link on the Twitch description in the About section about where to find the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, we do live streaming every Monday at 6 p.m. Irish time, which is sometimes UTC, sometimes not. There's a link for that in the description on the YouTube channel. Make sure to check out that link and give us a follow so you can be notified when we put new stuff out. Feel free to leave us comments or open PRs. Maybe we could get a banner with a GitHub. Perfect, thank you. So you can check out the entire code base there. Comments, PRs are very welcome. We're still learning, so everything's accepted. Everything's encouraged, actually. So our solutions aren't the best or the most idiomatic for Rust, but we're still trying to learn. So once again, everything is very well received. Thank you. So thanks everybody for suggestions and collaborations from the chat. And I think we're gonna raid someone and see you next time.
Yes,
Are we
raid
raiding someone?
starts in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Bye bye, everyone.
Ignition.
Bye. Ignition.
Bye.
Yeah.
Ignition.
Bye bye.